Pete, what is the capacity overhead when using a vSAN stretched cluster?
So John, that's really going to depend on the selections that the user has for their storage policies. Obviously, with a vSAN stretch cluster, we have a couple of sites, and the assumption there is that the user is going to mirror those VMs from one site over to another. So there's double the capacity usage in those terms. But remember, of course, that the user is allowed to set that on a per VM or per VMDK basis. And so it really depends on how the user is going to set those given VMs. They may have an entire group of VMs that, they have a lower set of priorities and level of importance in the environment, and they don't need that site level resilience. So in that case, they won't be taking up the additional capacity on the other site. Now, within vSAN, though, of course, we not only offer site level protection within the storage policy rules, but we can offer a secondary level of protection. That's going to allow you to assign something like an additional mirroring or RAID 5, RAID 6 erasure coding within each site, so that if you have a discrete host failure or a disk group failure, then that can recover without fetching the data from the other remote site. So it really all depends based off of the needs of the users, but that's the great part. We sort of empower that choice for the users themselves.
Love that RAID on RAID protection level. So a little more overhead, but a lot of resiliency.
A lot of redundancy, and you can make the choices. And then if it's not quite right, let's say there's a little bit of a performance implication on one, you can back off that a little bit if you want to change that secondary level of protection from, let's say, RAID 5, RAID 6 down to RAID 1. But you would still be fully redundant across sites and within each site. So really helpful.